And so before I turn to today's important topic, I want to remind members of a few procedures to help you navigate this new platform. First, consistent with regulations, the committee will keep microphones muted to limit background noise. Members are responsible for unmuting themselves when they seek recognition or when recognized for their 5-minute statement. Second, members and witnesses must have their cameras on at all times. If you need to step away from the proceedings, please leave your camera on rather than logging out. Finally, we have several members who are waving on to the subcommittee for today's hearing. Given the large number, I will recognize members in an order that represents a balanced ratio, beginning with members on the subcommittee. And I understand that Mr. Smith does not wish to be the first Republican member to ask questions. I thank all of you for your continued patience as we navigate this technology in order to continue serving our country together in this great time of need. Without objections, Representative Don Beyer is authorized to serve as the chair today in the event that I experience any technical difficulties and can't stay connected. And with that, I'll now turn to the important topic of today's hearing: restaurants in America during the COVID-19 pandemic. America's restaurants and restaurant workers are a resilient force. They've weathered past recessions and fought their way back after hurricanes and wildfires. But the challenges they face now are unlike anything that's come before. Restaurants and other places where we gather, like theaters, arenas, and concert halls, are equally vulnerable or uniquely vulnerable to the current public health crisis. They're places we meet up together, where we celebrate and congregate with friends and family. Social distancing is a public health necessity, but it cuts at the heart of an industry all about taking care of people by bringing them together. And that's not where the industry's challenges end. Restaurants are making dining spaces safer for their guests and employees, working to comply with the evolving public health guidance and facing a hit to outdoor dining as weather changes. These costs add up and are tough to absorb in an industry where profit margins of 3 to 5% are the norm. And that's before additional costs are added by tariffs and other factors. The toll the virus is taking on restaurants is reverberating throughout the economy. So far, COVID has claimed over 30,000 restaurants. It's leveled such a direct hit that 1 in 4 unemployed Americans today are restaurant workers. This was an unforeseeable catastrophe. Before the pandemic, the restaurant industry was booming, with over 1 million establishments nationwide employing over 15 million people. And the restaurant workforce is hit just as hard, if not harder, than the owners. Restaurant work is tough, and the industry is full of tenacious, young, strong people. Restaurant workers are disproportionately young and people of color, and restaurants employ more than 1 million single moms. These jobs disappeared through no fault of the restaurant workers, many of whom want to be back at work as soon as it's safe. They need our support. I'm proud of the pandemic relief measures that this committee and other committees passed to support restaurants and the workers whose jobs disappeared. The Employee Retention Tax Credit, the $1,200 checks, and the $600 expanded federal unemployment benefit all helped. They weren't perfect, but they did a lot of good. When we passed those bills, we didn't know how long the virus would interrupt our economy. We weren't sure how deep the recession would dip. We hoped that the virus would be better contained by now and that the economy would be in better condition, but they're not. America's restaurants and restaurant workers need another relief package. America needs another relief package. The House passed just such a measure on the 15th of May. The HEROES Act would approve another expanded round of stimulus checks and continue the $600 per week federal unemployment supplement. It would improve the PPP and employee retention tax credit. It would help restaurants make rent through a tax credit that I led, the Keeping the Lights On Act. But the Senate has wasted more than 4 months. We have to act now to save this industry before it's too late. 85% of independent restaurants may go under before the end of the year if more federal relief doesn't come. This is unthinkable. Restaurants make enormous contributions to our economy and our labor market. But they do more than that. They make our neighborhoods more walkable and vibrant. They help us get acquainted with other cultures and get in touch with our own roots. They give us space to celebrate our lives and even just take our mind off of our daily difficulties. In my district, they're an integral part of our community. Restaurants are fighting to survive, and we need to stand with them. I'd like to warmly welcome all the witnesses who are joining us today and thank you for what you do. And with that, I would like to recognize the ranking member, Mr. Smith of Nebraska, for the purposes of an opening statement. Mr. Smith, you're recognized.